Hey, tennis fans, you are listening to and watching Matchpoint Canada, Canada's premier tennis podcast. Happy New Year, first of all. We are finally back after a bit of a hiatus, and we're thrilled to run our first episode of 2026. And so happy to have on a friend of the show. She's joined us several times over the years and currently kicking off her season down under as we speak. Welcome, Canadian tennis player Kayla Cross. So great to see you and have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
Yeah, great time I think to catch up as we speak. Just a few hours away, Canada's going to get going at United Cup, and for you, I think definitely an awesome opportunity being a part of this team. How excited are you to be a member of Team Canada at this kind of fun international event to get the season going?
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. When I signed up and got, selected to play, I was super excited to be in this environment with so many of the top pros, so many of the top Canadian pros as well, and go for team dinners and team activities and things like that. I mean, it's been great, and I can't wait for, the on-court session to start in a few hours and cheer on Felix and Vicky. I'll definitely be loud.
What's that camaraderie like? I mean, we'll get into your relationship with Vicky. You've known her for many years, but what's it been like being around some of these guys as well, and just you know being around some top professional players who are obviously very experienced.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. Getting to, see their routines, see how they practice, see how they interact with our teams, the recovery they put in, the warm-ups, how long they take and things like that. There's a lot to learn from all of them and, just saying hi to them, just like passing them feels so so cool to me. Um yeah, so being at these events, you get to, practice with some of them, you get to see them, watch them. You get to meet their teams and things like that, and yeah, I'm really excited to learn a lot from them.
And the first time I think we had you on this show, it was with Vicky, and you were a young teenager, and you guys were playing, French Open juniors and this type of stuff. And obviously, you've come a really long way since then, and reaching a career high in singles and breaking inside the top 200. You look back at some of the memories of 2025 even. What are you most proud of with where you've taken your tennis here?
Yeah, in the last year, I think, probably the biggest moments were obviously, making Grand Slam qualies, playing the Billie Jean King Cup. That was, a lifelong dream that I've had to be able to, represent the country and doing it here again, things like that. Just but, the whole journey, everything leading up to the Grand Slams, being able to play on the grass again, which I love, was nice. And yeah, I mean, there was a lot of first times last year, so I think this year I'll have a little bit better confidence going into some of these things. I think last year was a lot of just learning and being excited to be there for the first time, but also a little bit nervous being more towards the back of the field in the tournaments. And now I think I have a little bit more confidence in events like these when you're surrounded by the people, the top players, and things like that. You get a little bit more used to it. So I think going into this year, I'll have a better feeling when I go into the tournaments and a little bit more confidence and a better feeling going in.
Yeah, I know it's really cliche to say trust the process, but you look at some of the other Canadians we've had. I feel like Gabriel Diallo was in your shoes maybe a couple of years ago, and now he's a top 40 player. You talk about those experiences going into qualifying at Roland Garros or going into qualifying at Wimbledon. What was that feeling like for you? And what were your kind of main takeaways just being a part of such big events for the first time?
Yeah, I think French Open is really rushed. I only showed up like 2 days before, so for that one, I think I was just excited to be there and just, take everything in, and try to do my best. I came from playing hard court to clay in a different continent within 2 days, so it wasn't the greatest prep, but I was just, super excited to be there. Um, and yeah, I mean, I lost, but I didn't feel like I was blown off the court or anything, so I left feeling, good about that and that, like, I had the level to be there and things like that, and then same type of thing at Wimbledon, a little bit closer of a match, which I was happy with. Obviously, it's tough to lose, 3 sets in that close, um, at a slam and stuff like that, but just that, like, my level's there, just trust it, that it'll come and, just having more confidence and going for the ball a little bit more and trusting that my game is there, that my skills are there, and that I belong there. So yeah, that was probably the biggest takeaway.
Yeah, very, very interesting. In fact, both these qualifying matches, you played the same player, Patricia Maria Teague, and it's like you took a step forward in that grass court match because, as you said, you pushed it to 3 sets. Is this sort of the process for 2026 kind of, knocking on the door, getting some more of these types of opportunities?
Yeah, of course, that's always the goal, just, a little bit better every single day, trying to put in a lot of work on the practice courts as well, and then just in matches, yeah, just trusting myself a little bit more. I think, in practice, I built a lot more confidence with going for the ball, using my skills at the net, trying to come in as much as I can, and just owning it, like, I have a little bit of a different game style. I like to play an all-around game and trusting that it's gonna work and things like that, and, yeah, I think towards the end of the season, I showed that it was working last year, so just trying to bring that energy into this year.
I mean, speaking of all around game, you've seen good success in singles recently. Doubles has been your consistently really your highest ranking, and where you've seen the most success. You won a challenger title in doubles this year, 10 ITF titles. What is it about playing with someone along your side where you generally thrive? And how do you approach maybe a balancing act of playing both of these two going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing doubles. I love being out there. A lot of times I play with some friends, so, we have a great time out there. We're always laughing. I think that's what honestly makes us do well is that, like, whether we're winning or losing, we're still having a good time, and that brings good energy, and doubles can flip so fast, so it's like if you keep this good energy, if you keep going for it and things like that, like, for the most part, it turns out your way, and if it doesn't, then you gave it your best shot. I think it's nice to have someone else out there because if things aren't going well, you have someone to be like, "No, you got this. You're good." So I like that, and I think I stay a little bit more positive in doubles just because I also wanna be there for my partner, so I feel like I'm less harsh when if it's just singles, I'm very harsh on myself when I'm doing it there. So yeah, trying to bring that into singles a little bit, and of course, I mean, I get to use my volleys a lot more in doubles because, that's just the name of the game. So I think that is a strong suit of mine, and yeah, it comes out in on the doubles court and things like that. The balancing part, yeah, it's hard. I mean, you're playing a lot more matches than if you're just playing singles, but for me I do enjoy playing both, and I think they both help, either side, I think in doubles, you can work on a lot of stuff and bring it to singles. I think it also gives me a lot of confidence because I do well on it to bring that to the singles court. And yeah, I think for tournaments in general, if you're going back to back weeks, it's nice to if you lose first or second round in singles, you still have doubles. You're still in the tournament till the end of the week, and I think for that mentally it helped me a lot. But there were a few times this year that I only did play singles. I think there was maybe 2 tournaments at the end of the season in Mexico that I didn't play doubles just to give my body a little bit of rest, but it was it was a challenge in my head to let go of the doubles just because I like it so much and I love playing with my friends and things like that, but yeah, I hope to do both, always, and that's always the goal as long as I'm staying healthy.
Yeah, we did first speak with you back in 2022, and that year, 2 runner-up finishes in junior Grand Slams. Your partner back then, Victoria Mboko, and, I mean, what can we say about her 2025? Obviously, you're a teammate of hers at United Cup, and you guys grew up together in juniors. How blown away were you by, her achievements this past year? Not just the title in Montreal, which in itself is unbelievable, but finishing inside the top 20 and really being one of the standout players on the WTA.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so, so proud of her. I'm so happy for her. I think, yeah, it's definitely a massive jump, but she's an amazing player, on and off the court, and I'm not surprised by it. It was definitely a fast jump, but I know she had the level to do it. And yeah, I was really happy to be by her side for a lot of it, and see her grow and, still be the same person, just with a different ranking. And I love that. Like we're best friends. Like we see each other as much as we can when we're home and we cross over for a day. Our parents make sure that, we have time to see each other and things like that. And yeah, I'm really happy for her and I can't wait to see what she does this year.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, I mean, now that, she's a friend of yours, but she's, doing glam photo shoots with Rolling Stone magazine and this type of thing, is there a new vibe or swag when you see her now, or it's just same old Vicky?
No, it's the same old Vicky. I mean, I try sometimes to poke the bear a little bit by saying,
Okay.
like, "I'm your name to get into a store or get something," and she always is like, "Stop, stop, like, I don't want that," it's like that, but, I like to poke the bear a little bit, that's what friends are for,
For
but
sure.
no, I mean, the most humble girl ever, she never uses her status, she's always very low key, she always looks out for everyone, yeah, none of that has changed, and it's great to just have, the same friend that whether we're ranked 1,000 or 20, it's the same friendship.
Yeah, no, that's definitely special, and, a couple teammates I think share that same bond on the men's side at United Cup with Alexi and Felix, who have been, sort of these longtime friends, and that hasn't changed. Look, you reached the top 200 milestone in singles. Maybe let's talk about a few goals for 2026. Are you setting specific performance goals, and what would you kinda like to get out of yourself, this coming season?
Yeah, I don't think, I haven't really talked too much with my coaches about specific ranking goals and things like that, but, definitely a goal for myself is to play all 4 slams. Last year I played 2, which was fantastic, but I
Mhm.
wanna do all 4, and just be a little bit more, like, consistent into the slams, if that makes sense, because, French Open, I just got in, Wimbledon, I just got in, Australian Open till the last very bit. I was fighting to try to get in, now I'm in the top 200, which is, great, but until, like, I think 2 weeks before the cut, I was still, like, 240. So, trying to do a little bit better in tournaments so that I have that little bit of pressure off knowing that I'm gonna make the slams and things like that, and then I think it's just about trying to find the balance between playing ITS and WTAs, because, of course, you want the match play, you want your match count up, but I also wanna challenge myself and play some higher tournaments, so finding that balance, I think, is gonna be key with my coaches and I and my team, to try to manage that. And then it's just, improving every day, trying to get stronger in the gym. I think that's a big goal of ours, this year is to really up the fitness. Because I did play a lot of matches last year, so the fitness was kind of on the back burner. I did a lot of like prehab stuff to try to keep myself healthy, but not I wasn't really building, if that makes sense. So trying to make time for that and also time for training as well. Like my preseason was pretty short just because I was trying to make Australia. I played pretty late into the season. So
Mhm.
trying to give myself those blocks between tournaments to really work on things that need to be improved and things like that. So yeah, I think it's a building year, I would say.
I'm always interested in asking players the difference in level or what they feel. For example, playing an ITF versus playing a WTA event. What is the biggest difference you notice if you're, getting up against someone who's top 150, top 100 versus maybe that 200 to 300 range?
I think it's honestly most of it's like the consistency part. Like you play matches and the top players are always up here. Where I think on the ITF you have some dips. So it's like you can play bad for a few days and or a few games and it's all good. You'll get it back. You could be down 3-0 and you come back and you're still in the match. Where I think at the top level, if you slip up and you don't, switch the flip quick, you lose so much momentum and the top players will just grab it and run with it. So I think that's kind of what I'm trying to close the gap with a little bit. Serve percentage getting up, the little mistakes, like you have an approach shot, making sure you're finishing the point. Like when you get your opportunity, you have to take it because you don't get as many opportunities at this level. I think it's less about them being a better player and more about like how they just always have the same level consistently. And when it's tight, a lot of the top players will bring their game up. Where sometimes on the ITF tour, it's like people get tight and they start like not doing as much with the ball and things like that. Where at the top level, it's like they just bring it up a notch. So yeah, just trying to get used to that.
As a fellow left-handed player, I'm always curious. Yeah, I'm a lefty as well. How you use that and utilize that as a strength. I know you have a strong forehand wing. Do you try and try and build these types of patterns that can, create a lot of success as a lefty because it can be an advantage, of course.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's such an advantage to be a lefty, and I'm very happy I am one. I think, yeah, using my serve, especially, ad side, getting it out to their backhands, trying to use my forehand up to their backhand as well. That one's always a great play, and then, trying to keep it to the backhand and then open up to the forehand, come to the net, try to find something to finish there. Um, yeah, of course, I try to look for my lefty patterns, but it depends on obviously who you're playing and things like that. A lot of the girls have amazing backhand, so that doesn't always work.
Yeah.
But trying to get it up a little bit and trying to switch the rhythm, the heights, the speed, things like that. I think that's one of my strengths. So trying to use that in an aggressive way, versus just like defending slice, like trying to use a slice to make something happen to get them uncomfortable. So that's definitely something I'm working towards more this year.
Do you have any other players or current, former players you kind of look at their patterns, maybe see how they structure points? I mean, maybe Rafa is sort of the obvious one, but any others as well, maybe?
I think, yeah, of course, Rafa's a lefty, so patterns that he uses that way. But I think game style wise, I know Barty is a righty, but I liked Ash Barty's game. She sliced a lot. She came to the net. Her demeanor, I liked. On and off the court, I think I always really appreciated her off court presence as well. But yeah, of course, as a lefty, Rafa definitely takes the patterns and things like that really well.
For sure. Our co-host Mike asked Alexi Gallarno this question, which I liked, and I want to ask you as well. So far, what do you find the most rewarding part of being a professional tennis player, and maybe what's the hardest?
I think the most rewarding for me would be probably just like traveling. Like we get to travel everywhere. I love traveling and things like that, and also just the friendships I build. Like I'm in a new country almost every other week, and I have friends all around the world. Like that's not something a lot of people can say. So I think that's also really rewarding. And just seeing like the progression, just thinking like probably 10 years ago, like going to nationals and being like, this is my whole life. And it's like, I look back at that and like, it was nationals. Like, it's all good if you lose a match. Like,
Yeah,
but like seeing the progression is like, these are things we dreamed of representing the country, of being, at grand slams and things like that. You look at the TV and awe, and now I'm, like, one of those people, and so, like, all that so rewarding. I think the challenging part would be we don't really have an off season, a
yeah,
crazy off season, so it is a lot, you are playing a lot of weeks in a row, and, to make Australian Open, I played 8 weeks in a row, which is not normal, but that's what you do when you have a goal to make, and so I think that part is hard, it's hard on your body, it's hard on your mental when you're playing week after week. I know at week 8, I played my first match and I won, and I was like, "I'm just exhausted," like, but I need to keep pushing, so I think that's really hard, and obviously, I love traveling, but being away from family all the time, it does get a little bit hard, but for me, I have a really good base of friends on tour that's really great, and so I think that keeps me going when I'm gone for a long period, and I call my mom every day. I keep her updated. I call for the dogs to see the dogs every day on
yeah.
FaceTime. So yeah, I mean, technology with that is great, but it's not the same as being at home, of course. So yeah, I would say that's probably challenging.
Hmm. We'll finish with a fun section we like to call rapid fire questions. Start off with an easy one. Would you call yourself a morning bird or a night owl?
Morning.
I think I know the answer to this. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Yes. So, how many dogs are back home then?
2.
Two. Okay. What's your favorite post match meal?
I feel like I have pasta a lot, but, like, dessert after is, like, what's actually, like, the nice part about it, like, that's the rewarding part.
Okay. Well, favorite dessert.
Crepes.
Good choice. Okay. Some tennis specific ones. Forehand or backhand?
Forehand.
Top spin or slice?
Ooh. Like, on, like, a ground stroke?
Yeah, we'll say that. Sure.
Backhand slice. I like that one.
Nice. Wide serve or tee?
Wide.
What's more fun, hitting a drop shot winner or an overhead smash?
Drop shot winner, for sure.
Who is one current or former player that inspires you and why?
Like I said, Barty, I think
Yeah.
just her off court presence, the way she plays the game. I think the way she went out, like she won a grand slam and said, "Yeah, this is my time. I'm good." I think I really respected that.
Current player you'd most like to face?
Ooh. I feel like it'd be cool to play, Iga, maybe?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Your favorite tournament to play?
Wimbledon.
We'll go to travel here. Window or aisle seat?
Isle.
City you'd most like to visit that you haven't been to yet?
Ooh. I don't know. Uh oh, somewhere in Switzerland. I always wanna go there.
Okay.
Yeah,
They have some tournaments, so there you go. If you could be any animal, what would it be?
a kangaroo. I love those animals. Yeah,
How suitable that you're in Australia. That's a good choice.
I know,
And
had to select one.
yeah, that's so cool. Last one. Name an artist who's heavily on your playlist right now.
Mm, Morgan Wallen, country music.
There we go. Okay. Well, Kayla, it's so great to chat with you basically right as we kick off the 2026 season. Good luck for the entire year and good luck on Team Canada as you guys compete at United Cup this week. It's always great having you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. Guys, you've been listening to Watching Matchpoint Canada. We will talk to you next time. Thank you guys so much for watching us at Matchpoint Canada. If you like our work, follow along, hit the subscribe button below.